So after I picked up my friends and we were traveling together we went like all over. We went like to, oh man, I shouldn't even list all the places. We went like just all over India. We traveled for a long time. And we made it, after we went to Darjeeling, we took a train that was supposed to take us from, I think it was from Darjeeling to, where was it? Was it Agra? I think it was Agra. No, it wasn't, sorry. Delhi. It was Darjeeling to Delhi, and it was supposed to take 17 hours, and it ended up taking 41 hours to get there, just because the train would just like stop for a couple hours at a time, and you'd be like, can we go? And they'd just be like, we're waiting. It's like, oh, so you'd be on the train tracks for hours and hours and hours. And anyways, we finally get to Delhi, and we wanted to see the Taj Mahal, but that was in Agra, which was about a 7-hour drive away, so we got a cab to drive us. And on the way there, I don't know if you guys have ever been to India or seen like the pictures of the driving there or anything like that. There's like no traffic rules like at all. It is nuts. So we were driving, and it's fairly common when you travel that you kind of throw up sometimes. Like you just eat something and it doesn't go with you, so you just throw up, and you get pretty used to it, so it's no big deal. But we were, but we were driving on this highway. Well, there's like highway. It's just a bunch of cars going in the same direction, and I really all of a sudden realized, I was like, oh man, totally gonna throw up. Here we go. So I just rolled the window down and started throwing up. And then rolled it back up, and we're all like, yep, that's cool, we're fine. And we keep driving, and then this is a 7-hour drive, and all of a sudden I was like, oh man, I gotta throw up again, this is weird. Okay, so I throw up again. And this continued for a while, and then all of a sudden, I had I apologize in advance, I had a sudden realization that the same thing, the same phenomenon was about to happen, the projectile-ness of my vomit, but from a different orifice of my body. And there's nothing I can do because I'm on a highway, and I'm yelling at the cab driver, you have to pull over. And he's like, no. I'm like, no, you have to pull over. Because there's no way I'm doing that out a window. So we gotta figure this out. So he did pull over. And I mean, there's nothing quite as humbling as just relieving your bowels while you throw up on an Indian highway.
Oh my God.
Every like half hour for 7 hours. It's a humiliating thing, but I ended up just getting super sick, and we made it to Agra, but by the time we got there, the Taj Mahal was closed, and it was just this like nightmare of a thing, and I was starting to kind of like lose my mind. I was kind of like almost passing out, and our cab driver was like the sweetest man in the world. He came over, and I had this like pop bottle, but it had like or like a water bottle, but it had like electrolytes in it, so it was kind of like pop. It was like sticky with like sugar, and he came to the back and he pulled over and he like tried to wash my face, and I couldn't even like raise my hand to stop him because I was so like just kind of not there anymore. I just remember being like while he was like wiping this stuff all over my face, and I was like, no, please stop, and he just kept doing it. Anyways, we finally get to Agra, and instead of taking me to a hospital, he took us to a random parking lot. And he's like, I'll help, I know somebody. And his buddy comes like running up, and he's like, okay, what's going on? What's the problem? So we describe everything, what's going on to him, and he's like listening intently, and he goes, okay, well, I can't help you, because I'm a veterinarian. So we need to take him to the doctor. And it's like, yeah, we need to take him to the doctor, what are you thinking? So he takes us to a hospital, and we go into the hospital, and there's a doctor there, and we tell him all my symptoms, and at this point, like, they had to carry me in. I wasn't even really aware of what was going on anymore. And they tell this whole story to this guy, and this guy's just patiently listening. And then he's like, okay, well, I can't help you, because I'm an orthopedic, or what, some kind of surgeon, I don't remember what it was. But he's some kind of surgeon. He's like, you need a general physician. So we ended up having to go to 3 different hospitals. And by the time we got to the last one, I was not even like conscious at all. I was just kind of gone. And they shoved an IV, and I mean shoved an IV in my arm, and then pumped me full of all these like drugs and stuff to try and save my life, and it worked. So that's a good thing. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. This next song is called I Wish I Was, and it has literally nothing to do with almost dying in India, but nonetheless, I will play it for you now. By the way, for you guys at the back, you can't see, and even like you guys like here, you can't really see. Zach Smith is accompanying me this evening. He's right here. Here's his hand. You'll hear lovely sounds emanating from a slide and a dobro and other things, and that is my friend right here, and he's very talented, so... This is called I Wish I Was. Oh, darling, it's been so long. We'll throw
tomorrow.